Hey crafty cuties, I have another no-sew project for you guys today. I can tell by the views that you guys love all of my no-sew projects, and it's always so interesting to me because when I get the chance to have conversations with you guys, a lot of you really love the sewing, but I do know that a lot of people are very intimidated or don't have a sewing machine. So I think that these projects probably appeal to a lot more people. This is also a project that you can do in one sitting. So today we're going to make this no-sew folio, or it can be a mini journal. I'll show you the one that I made here that we will basically recreate. And so I turned mine into a little journal. You don't have to have a signature of papers though. You can completely make this a little folio. I have a little pocket here, a little side pocket here, and then there's like a little hidden pocket. It's not too deep, so you can put little pieces of ephemera and whatnot in there. And then over here, it just looks like you have this botanical page, but it flips down. And then we just have a pocket here. And of course we can make this as interactive as you want. And I think this would be really cute tucked into a bigger journal or just on its own. Now I got this complete idea from Camilla Crafts Designs. So I'm gonna put her tutorial down below. She is brilliant and has many ideas. So thanks to her for this idea. And we're using lunch bags, brown lunch bags as the base, which is pretty cool. Now this can be a little fiddly at the beginning, so don't give up. It took me actually a couple tries to get it to fold just right. So I got mine off Amazon. I'll have any links below that I can find for you guys. I think it was $6.99 for 50 or 100. So, I mean, we can make so many. You can get these at the Dollar Tree as well, but I really like this size. It's about 3.5 inches by 7. And so the size that we end up getting from using this size of a paper bag, this is the size of finished project we will have. And it's probably going to vary slightly depending on where you fold things, but it's almost 5 inches by almost 6 inches. Okay, so what we're going to get started with is completely flattening the lunch bag. So you know there are gussets in here, and we're going to fold everything out. So this is the part that can be a little fussy, and you just have to have a little bit of patience, but once you get it, I know, I have confidence you guys will be able to figure it out. So we're gonna basically put our hands in here, kind of try to get all of these fold marks kind of flattened out. This is at least how I did it, because essentially we're gonna flatten everything. It's gonna become a lot wider. So I like to just put my hands in here and kind of like spread out my fingers like this, but a few times, because there's chances are, since we have all of these fold marks happening, you might not get it on the first try to fold out perfectly. But don't worry, because we're going to be covering most of this with paper. So again, I just kind of mess with it. And there are fold marks that we're trying to flatten it down to, but the tricky part is right here. It's getting this part to flatten down, because you see we have this right here. I'll try to give you a better angle. And the reason why it's tricky is because we want to try to get any wrinkles out. So sometimes I'm going to come in here with the end of a bone folder and kind of use this to help me flatten things, or flatten it. You kind of have to do that, like, so I watched Camilla Crafts do this at first, and I thought, okay, I see how it is, like, I can do that. But until you kind of mess around with it on your own, it's, like I said, you kind of have to feel what you're doing, I guess. Because, okay, so it always helps me to get this part flattened out first, and then again. Now, if it's a little wrinkly, it's going to be okay. And I'm just going to keep all of this in the video because I want you to see that it can take some time. I kind of go back and forth between folding these out and then retrying. So if you can see, we're almost there, but this is like not flat. Of course, we can flatten it out with our bone folder, and you totally can, but I know that it's possible to get it even flatter, so I'm just going to keep going kind of back and forth. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, but that'll happen too. We're like almost there. It just needs to be worked out a little bit. That's pretty close. And on this side, almost. We're going to end up with 2 little triangles on each side. Some of them will go like right away, and some won't. Almost. So we have this side pretty good. I'm gonna work with this just a little bit more. Try to be gentle. I like to use this end of my bone folder so that I don't rip it, because that would be frustrating if you take all this time and then it ends up ripping. And I did have that happen, but let's see. We're almost there. I think I'm just gonna be okay with this. Again, just use this because, again, we're covering it with paper, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to try to get it as flat as you can. So there we go. Okay, I think we got it. So we're gonna take a second one, and for this part, we are just going to cut off this part right here. So keep these because you can actually do some pretty cool little embellishments with these, and I'll try to do a video showing you that later. So this is much easier. So now you've cut off just the tail of the bag, we'll call it. And so it's just one long tube, and this is easy enough to flatten out. Again, when we flatten it out, we're flattening out to the side. Okay, just like that. So we're basically lengthening our original. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna close this bag shut, and I'm just using a little bit of glue. Just gonna put glue on the inside, like that. Now, if you want, you can glue both of these shut. I kept mine open because I found that later in the process, I could use those as little hidden tuck spots. So now we're gonna overlap the 2 bags and glue them together. And I overlap them about, I'll show you like this, 1/4 of an inch. Whoops, I hope you can see that there with the light. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You can do this with any size paper bag too, by the way. So if you have a bigger size, or maybe, I don't know, a smaller size, I would say play around with it, because chances are you'll be able to get the same end result, just a different size. Okay. I added a lot of glue, so mine's coming out everywhere, but that's okay. Okay. Now, just so you can see what we're working with here, we're gonna fold this over, and I like to fold it over where it naturally would fold, if that makes any sense. Okay, so you can kind of see it come together. I think it's helpful to see like the final as I'm doing it, so you can visualize this, because chances are you're watching this before you do it. And then this, we're just gonna fold in. You may have to trim yours a little bit. Now, you want to shoot to have this be your spine, so that's right. So it might be a good idea. I think I am gonna glue this one shut, and I'm not gonna glue the end shut. But again, you could play around with it and see, but since we'll probably be, we're using this as the spine, and so it just depends if you're gonna sew a signature into that or not. Okay, so, but we're kind of strengthening our spine by having the two overlapping. Okay, so this part, yeah, we're just gonna fold this over. It's probably better if we waited till everything dries, but yeah, no. No, yeah, I am gonna trim mine, but I'm just gonna fold it first. So you can even see how I folded on the overlap right there. And I will open it back up in a minute so I don't glue it shut. Now, I am going to trim. There's actually, I realized there's actually a seam where I will likely trim it because I only want it to go to the end. In fact, I can just use this as my guide. I don't want it to be longer. But you can always play around, by the way. Just keep in mind, once you get this down, you could play around with this. And if you have a longer tail, you know, you could play around with it and maybe just fold it over and create a little side pocket on the back. I mean, that is something we could do. Okay. Do we want to do that? We could. Let's just keep it folded for now. I can always cut that later. Now, this part, let's see, I'm trying to think. See, sometimes I need to look at this one to see what I got going on. Oh yeah, okay, right. So if you want, you can also glue this little flap down. But again, I think I'm just gonna keep it for now because as I get to putting things together, I might. Okay, I'm trying to think though, if I'm gonna want to cover with book pages, it might be tricky to cover this little side tuck. Okay, I'm gonna cut it off because I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible for the first one that I show you guys. But basically, I'm just saying, keep in mind that you can get creative with it, okay? All right, so now we have like a perfectly fitting little folio, essentially, okay? So this is like the base. And we are going to cover this. Now you can cover with scrapbook paper. I'm gonna use some book pages. I use a botanical book for this one, and I have that on the back as well, really cute. I have some books here, and I think I'm gonna go for Edith Holden. This is what Camilla used in the one that she showed, and I have a brand new book here anyways, so the thing is, I would like to cover, ooh, this is pretty. My book is not one of the bigger books, but that's okay. I'm just gonna take this out. Let me see something. So, you can either just start cutting out and covering, you know, just the front. I loved how Camilla showed having like a full picture when you unfold it. So if you see right there, I had to add a little scrapbook paper because my book page wasn't wide enough. So let's see. Ooh, this picture would be wide enough to just cover. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. So I'm gonna pick a place where I want, and you can kind of keep in mind, so essentially this is gonna be our front cover with the flap over it. So you can keep that in mind. So I think what we're gonna wanna do, oh, there's so many pretty little spots. We're gonna wanna turn it this way though. That's the thing, to get the right orientation. So maybe I'm just gonna go for it. Oh, I can kind of see through. She had a really cool like light tray. Oh, I think my son has one. I think I might go ask. No, okay, I'm just gonna go for it because I bet a lot of you don't either. It looks like a really cool thing. So I'm just gonna kind of see through because I really want to get part of that butterfly and the bird. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna go for it because again, I bet a lot of you don't have one of those light tables. so I'm gonna take a pen, not the yellow, because I realized I couldn't see the yellow. And I'm just gonna trace it exact, but we'll have to trim down a little bit so that it will fit on there nicely, but that's okay. We'll do that as we go. So some of you know I live next to a really pretty trail, and we went on it this morning. I heard that, well, there's this, an owl that is on the trail, and he or she, well, I think it would be a she because she has some baby owls. She has been out in an area where you can spot her, and a lot of photographers actually come to this trail specifically to see this owl. And we finally found the spot that she lives and literally spent almost 2 hours on the trail. Owls are so interesting. And then my friend saw the baby owl, and if I can insert some pictures, I would love to share them with you. My pictures are pretty far away, so they don't look the best, but okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Now remember, if you don't have like a wide enough book page, or you don't have, you know, an ongoing picture like this that opens up, just get creative with it. It's still gonna look great if you use 2 different book pages, or if you wanna use like cardstock again, wallpaper, fabric, get creative. So I'm just cutting a little bit inside the red line that I drew, because I do want mine to be just a touch smaller. I like to see the craft outline. Okay. All right, we have that all cut out. Now, we're not gonna put it on here. So you could totally just glue down the whole picture. I really like having it sectioned out. So this is the part that I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It would be awesome if I had a better way to do it, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna use a lighter pen. So a pencil would probably be better. And I'm just gonna mark where the seams are, because that's where I'm gonna trim them. And I'm just gonna use my trimmer and hope for the best. Okay. So I'm gonna use a paper trimmer just because I think that's gonna give me the best chance at having a straight line. So I'm gonna cut a little. Well, I'm just gonna cut where I marked them, and then we'll go from there if we need to make any trims. So for this part, yeah, I'm gonna literally just use my scissors, and everything fits perfectly. So I'm just gonna trim, try to follow the same lines, but just a touch. Because I do want you to easily be able to fold everything. So I'm literally just cutting little slivers off. Okay, I think that will work good. I think this actually fits good. Actually, for this one, I'm gonna trim just a smidge. Sometimes my trimmer does that right at the end. Okay. I'm just gonna start gluing these on as well. And you could ink them up now or after. I'll just add some ink now and probably ink up the whole thing at the end. Okay. Just add some glue. Now this would totally look cute to sew around each section, but for this one, we're just gonna keep it a no-sew. So not perfect, but I think it's gonna look totally fine. And I'm not worried that there is, you can see there's like this fold mark here because it's 2 different pages, but this is even gonna be the back, so it will be just fine. Whoops. Making a glue mess. Oops. Okay, I'm trying, okay. Now that I see, you know what, I do need to bring this over a little bit more because this was about to overlap on the, I guess I didn't cut this well. Okay, so we're wanting to line up our picture too, but even though you're not gonna really see the full picture, I don't know how I did this, you guys. It's a little too tall. All right, let's try again. Yeah, I kind of messed that up, but you know what? Like I said, this happens. But I'm trying not to, there we go, okay. It was overlapping over the fold, and you will want to try to avoid that. Okay, but I think we're okay now. Whoops. Yeah, I guess I got it on there just a little crooked, but it's okay because it's all gonna look good. I am gonna trim just a little smidge from the top and a little smidge from, and see, I think I thought that I was lining this up so that the bird was, well, maybe it will be on the front. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, because I guess when we fold it, you're not even really gonna, you'll see his head peeking out, which is kind of funny. But that's okay. So yeah, next one I might just do cardstock. You don't have to worry about lining anything up. And then you could go in and decorate and embellish once you have it all covered. But that's okay. All right. All right. By the way, I should have mentioned that you can always have this go open this way or this way. For some reason, this seemed better to me. Okay, I'm gonna have to trim this also a little bit because it is hanging over the edge a bit, and I would rather it not. Okay. Just add a little bit more ink. So this is what we've got going on now. Now you could totally stop here and now decorate the inside, but I wanted to add 2 quick, easy little closures. And for that, I'm just gonna take some scrap paper, take a pen, and I can't find my tiny little hole punch, so I'm just gonna use this. And I'm not gonna worry if these circles are perfect. I even just moved that. We'll call that good. Cut out our little circles. These are probably, oh, 1/2 inch? Something like that. They will look just fine though once we have them inked up and put on. Okay, sorry if you can hear the TV in the background. Today's Memorial Day, so my kids don't have school, so it's a miracle that I'm even here filming. Okay. ink up those edges. Now, my crocodile isn't one of the long reach arms, so I won't be able to use that for this, but I'm going to use 2 little brads. So I have some in this little thing that I can never open. Oh, I got 2. Let's see. 2 different colors though. There we go. 2 that are silver. Put everything back in here so I don't lose it all. So for this part, I'm gonna start by placing 1, and definitely suggest putting these on before you cover the inside. I'm gonna just go for right there, and I am literally just gonna poke a hole where the center looks. I have to bring this off my table, so sorry you couldn't see for a second. It seems so dark. I have all my lights on today, but it's kind of a cloudy day. So I'm putting that brad all the way through like that. Then you can eyeball this or measure, and I'm gonna put it like, oh, what is this, an inch over? Almost 2 inches over. Just pick the placement that you like though. And again, I'm just trying to get that in the center. Okay, so now we can start by covering the inside and adding any kind of interactive things that we want. Remember, I didn't close this up, but we do have the brad through. Now, ooh, what we could do, watch this. Instead of having it go all the way through, since we didn't cut this, is open that up. We could have this actually close on the inside here. I'm gonna try to use my it's a little tricky, but you can work with it for a minute. And then don't worry, we'll cover that up. But now we will actually have access to that whole pocket. So that's cool. Now, also, I didn't glue this down, and I kept that on purpose because it could be maybe a little tuck spot for something very small. But I am gonna just go ahead and glue just the tops down then, because I don't really want it flapping up. But you could probably do something pretty cool if you used your little imagination there. And this might be a pretty small spot for something, but hey, could be cool too. Now I'm gonna add a signature full of some coffee dyed paper, but first, like I said, I want to cover this, and I think I'm gonna use this here. I have been loving this book. Ooh. Oh, that's a cute little house, huh? And I don't mind that it has writing on it. I think I'm just gonna try to eyeball this and use my pen once more on the back side though. Trying not to get red on the bag. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. So we're gonna cover the inside flap with something different just because this page isn't quite long enough. I moved it a touch, didn't I? All right. So let's go ahead now. Let's trim with scissors first, and I'm gonna trim again a little bit on the inside. All right. So let's see. We need it to be kind of about there. Just gonna trim these all the way off. I have so many scraps. Keep these scraps though. We can use them for embellishments later. Gonna try to. We'll see how good I did. Now, back to the inside. And let's make sure we're right side up. Yep. And it's kind of hard to see where that fold mark is. I could keep this all just one piece, honestly. It is a little too tall though. So I'm going to use my big trimmer behind me. So sorry, I'm behind you for a sec. And I just realized that, oh, the house is on the back. I was like, where did the house go? Okay, yep. Good. I almost put it on there upside down, if you guys were catching that. And I like that there's a little bit of text on here as well. Okay, and it's just a touch too wide, so you definitely have to mess with things just a little bit. I think I'm just gonna go for it and glue this down as one piece. And you can see it's not perfect, but it's really not gonna matter once we add everything we want to add. There, like that. I think that's pretty good. And then we should be able to fold it still, just okay. There we go. Yeah, and this is a pretty thin paper, so it folds pretty easily. That made that really easy. Okay, so now I want to cover this. And I'm just looking through my scraps down here to see if I can find something that will kind of go. That's pretty cute, but not quite it. All right, we won't spend too much time going through my scraps. Oh, this is probably not large enough. Nope, that would have been cute. All right, let me grab one more. Oh, here we go. I found it. I'll do this. It has little birds on it. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this over though. And once again, trace. Okay. Trace and cut. I'm just gonna eyeball this part because I'll probably need to trim it anyways. Hoping this will fit. Yeah, I would say so. Okay. More glue. My daughter's being silly out there. Okay. Now we're able to cover up that other brad as well. So I'm gonna put this down and just press. Alrighty. Now, I'm gonna add one clear pocket because I feel like I don't really want to cover up too much of this picture, but I do want to add some interaction. So these are clear adhesive pockets. I get them on Amazon. It is so dark. Darn, I didn't realize that earlier, but so yeah, I'm gonna put that here. And I love how this page has some writing. So we can put some things in there. For now, I'll just grab a couple pieces of ephemera. I'm just right behind me. I have a little Tim Holtz folder full of some things. Now, remember we have that little tuck spot as well, and I'm curious, would something like this fit? Might have to be pretty small because it does fold here too, so it probably needs to be, let's see. Oh, I wonder if like this little ticket thing. Wow, it has to be pretty thin. So it's definitely a little hidden spot. So I'm not even gonna put anything in there, but we know it's there. Oh, this is a cute little clear sticker. Let's put it on this side. Okay, then we come over here. And again, I don't really want to cover this up. So we don't really have to do anything because we do have this side pocket too, which, you know what, I'm gonna put a little seed packet in there. And this is, okay, yeah. I could put like a little piece of vellum. Let's grab some vellum and do like a little side pocket maybe. We could do more of a tuck spot. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm just gonna cut. Yeah, kind of like that. And do I have double-sided tape? I don't usually like gluing. Ooh, staple. That'll be good. And I'm gonna try not to, yeah, I'm not gonna staple through the 2 layers. Okay, just like that. And then at the bottom, it's fine to go through the 2 layers because we're at the bottom here. Just like that. And then, of course, we can put something in that one as well, just so we know it's a little tuck spot. We don't want to cover that up. Turn this down a little bit. Thank you. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so now let's go ahead and just add a couple pieces of paper, coffee dyed paper. Of course, you can make this more of a journal. I just have some papers cut down. I think they're like, let's see, I'll figure out what the, first of all, let's see if this will fit. I just cut a letter size paper in half. So yes, okay, let's go ahead and we'll easily sew these in. And I'm gonna thread my needle. I'm just gonna do a really simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I'm just using 2 papers here. I don't want to make it too bulky, but it'll be a nice little place to write. And I'm just gonna punch in the center, punch at the bottom, just doing this very quickly here. Punch at the top. Go in through the center, down to the bottom hole, whoops. And up to the top. Back in through the center. There we go, super quick. Tie that off. Boom. How cute is this? Okay, let's go ahead and add some trim to this or string, whatever you want. I mean, this could be super fun to decorate with like lace, and you could really go crazy, but I think this is a really good start. And I will say, even with just those 2 sheets of paper folded in half, it is quite bulky, so I think I probably wouldn't do much more than that. I'm just gonna tie that first one, and then you can basically just do a figure 8 back and forth. But let's open it up one more time. It is so dark. I'm so sorry, guys. I hope this didn't end up too dark. So first of all, it looks really cute like that. So then when we open it up, we have this nice big pocket right here. We have a little tuck spot. We have our little mini journal here, and then a clear pocket and a tiny little tuck spot if we wanted to hide something small away. I hope that you guys liked seeing me make this, and I would love to hear if you have made one of these before or if you plan to. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, keep these little pieces because I am going to be making some little embellishments, and I'm going to try to see what I can do with them. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye.